Alrighty, now in this video we're going to start designing our chat database architecture. So for that we can simply first start by creating our models and migrations. Open up our terminal. In here, let me open a new environment. So here let's type php artisan make model conversation -m or with a migration. So you click enter. Okay, let's do this one more. Let's change this to message with migration. Right now we have our conversation and message model. So let's open our messages migration, this one, and our conversations migration. So first we're going to start by filling up our conversation migration. So here we're going to have table and size being integer. It's going to be sender ID, and down here we're going to have table foreign for this sender ID, references ID on users table, semicolon there. So this is for the sender. We can just copy this code here so we can make for receiver. So here and here it will be receiver ID. Yes, right here we can just add soft deletes in case we want to delete our conversations later. Soft deletes. Right, after doing that, now let's go to our messages migration. In here I'm gonna first start by, since a message will belong to a conversation, so here let's do table for an ID, conversation ID. You can do this constraint, then here cascade on delete, because when you delete this conversation, you want to delete the messages too. Right here, table and side big integer. Actually, for this, since we're gonna write the same kind of code, we can just go back to our conversations. Let's copy this one, these two from here, receiver and sender ID, like this. Right here you can say table timestamp read at. Want to see when the message is read. This one can be nullable. Now here to be table, you can say text body. We can use string, but string only holds a few characters. Text holds more characters. Right, and here just one more thing. Right here, just after the user, here on users, here we can say now on delete. Leave it like that, and leave this body here nullable too. Alright, I think we're done here. Now let's go to our conversation. In here I'm going to first write protected, guarded here, and put an empty array. All the fields, want to make them fillable. So here function messages. Conversation is going to have has many messages. So you're going to say return this has many message model class. Right. Also here, say function, and I say get receiver. This is just a helper function to help us get the receiver for the current conversation, because if we are logged in and we're in a chat, we want to be able to identify the other user we're chatting with. So this will help us get that user real quick. So I'm gonna say if this sender ID is equals to of ID, and I'm going to return user model first where ID this sender ID. You're gonna say else. Let's just copy this. Here we can say, actually here it's supposed to be sender ID. Since we're checking for sender ID here, in here to be receiver ID. Yes. That's it for this conversation model. Now let's go ahead and fill in our message model, the last one, like that. In here, I'm gonna say the same as here. Say protected guarded. Here protected dates, read at, and now here you can go ahead and set our relationship function, conversation, because every message will belong to a conversation. Return belongs to conversation class. And you're gonna say function is read. I can check if this current message is read or not. So I'm gonna return this read at is not equals to now, which means it is read. Alright, I think after filling in that form, we can now migrate our database to make sure that it works fine. So we can say PHP artisan migrate. Right, we have an error somewhere here. Right, I think the message is table here. Alright, so I think just remove this and that. My mistake on that. So let's try to migrate again. Alright, actually here let's just do PHP. Let's just roll back the migration artisan migrate. Actually, let's do fresh and seed. Awesome. Now our migration in our database has been refreshed. So now I think that's it for this video. I'll see you in the next one.